team. So the first person that spoke was our principal, and she is our guidance department administrator, and that is Ms. Pravina Sivaraja. My name is Priya Mistry, and I'm the head of guidance. And the rest of the team of our lovely guidance department is made up of Miss Lauren Walker, Mr. Christopher Thomas, and Miss Apanaya Razalingam. So we've got some important dates coming up. Tomorrow, like Ms. Sivaraja said, there will be a course selection fair from 9 a.m. to 9:50. There's going to be an announcement on Brightspace after school today that will give you the Zoom links for each of the different departments for tomorrow morning's course fair, so you know where to go. You can see it hyperlinked on this slide where it says Virtual Course Promotions Fair. And I will try to place that into the chat later on during this presentation. But this slide deck will also be made available to you after school, so you can always check it out there. Next week, we will encourage students to complete their course selection after perhaps they finish their classwork, or if their teachers are giving them some time, or for homework. And during the week of February 17th to the 21st, guidance counselors will be visiting each classroom to help students that may not have completed their course selection or have some questions. Students can also come to the guidance Zoom at lunch or on Wednesday afternoons from 3:15 to 4:15 p.m. Guardians are also welcome to come at this time. Please remember to choose your courses carefully. This is not a first come, first serve process. So you just need to make sure that you will be meeting the course selection deadline for February 28th. Students are assigned guidance counselors according to their last name. So myself, Ms. Mistry, looks after students with the last name A to B. Ms. Walker looks after students with the last name C to I. Mr. Thomas looks after students with the last name J to PA. And Ms. Razalingam looks after students with the last name PB to Z. So let's just quickly review what students need to complete and achieve their OSSD. They're going to need 30 credits, a minimum of 18 compulsory and 12 optional, 40 hours of community involvement, the literacy requirement, and 2 online credits. Ms. Walker will go into more detail about this. But at this time, students may also opt out of the e-learning credits, and that's the QR code that you're seeing on this screen. Again, this slide deck will be available and all the hyperlinks will be active when I post this after school. Now, I've had many students and teachers reaching out being like, do I have to come to this assembly? Is it important for me? It is, right? So many grade 12 students that this course selection assembly may not apply to them because they're not going to be here. But this isn't true. Please tell your friends, if you're in grade 12 and you are planning to graduate or leave VSS, it is important that you receive these instructions. So advise them to watch the recording or check out our slide deck. In order for VSS, in order for VSS to record that you are leaving or graduating, and to provide your graduation invitation and your exit form, and to collect your personal email address, we get this information through My Blueprint. So we need you to go on to there and select and tell us that you're not returning and where you may be going. It is okay if you have not yet been accepted to the university, college, or apprenticeship program. But if you've applied for this program and your plan is in September to be starting in a program, then we would like you to tell us that you're not returning and where you plan on going. Okay. In June, we will exit you out and we will make sure that you are going to the correct destination. You may also be a grade 12 student that is returning to VSS, so we will need to guide you on how to select your courses and declare that you're returning. please be aware that if you take a repeat course, you will only receive 1 credit for that course. For example, you take ENG4U, a grade 12 English, in your grade 12 year, and then next year you decide to take it again to get a higher mark, you are only going to achieve 1 credit for that course, okay? Even though you've taken it 2 times. All right, some things to consider. So you need to look at what the course is about, what skills or area the course is in, and are you interested in those topics and solving problems in this area? Also look at the logistics. Are you eligible for this course? Meaning, do you have the prerequisites? For example, if you're choosing a grade 12 English class, have you passed your grade 11 English class? You cannot be enrolled into a course that you do not have a prerequisite for. Also, consider meeting all of the requirements that you need to graduate. Ms. Walker will be reviewing this with you shortly. For you right now, you also need to be thinking about the post-secondary requirements that you might need. For example, if you're applying for a college or university program, they might ask you to complete certain courses. Every university program requires you to complete a grade 12 university English course, ENG4U. But some programs also require additional courses like science or math, or they'll say, please have 2 grade 12 university sciences, or at the college level, they might say, please make sure that you've completed 3 college level courses or mixed level courses. So it's really important to kind of look ahead to some of the post-secondary programs that you might be considering and find out what you need so that you can plan for it accordingly. So I just want to review. It's very important for grade 12 students to know what these course codes mean, and I know it can be a little bit confusing. You can figure out the course type and the pathway by reading your course code. So let's do a quick little overview. I'm just going to use the example of grade 10 science. The first 3 digits kind of give a hint or a clue of what department that may be. The 4th digit in this case is a 2, and this tells you it's a grade 10 course. 1 is grade 9, 3 is grade 11, 4 is grade 12. The 5th digit tells you the academic pathway. Now, this is where you need to pay attention. You have to be very mindful with what you're choosing. So for students wanting to go to university, you're going to be picking a U or an M course. For students that want to go to college, you're going to be picking a C or M course. We're going to be reviewing this in the next slide in a little more detail. The 6th digit tells you the type of course that is offered. So if the course ends with an 8, that means it's a course for our English language learners. If it ends with a 9, that means it's for our special education program students. You're probably not going to be picking a 9 ending course. So just be mindful of that. However, if you would like to take a learning strategies course and you have an IEP, then we encourage you to take the GLE learning strategies that ends with 9. Okay. There is also a GLS learning strategies course for students that do not have an IEP. Now, your post-secondary consideration. As you're picking your courses, it's really important to pay attention to that 5th character I was talking about. It will tell you if the course is college, university, mixed, open, or essential. All course types can lead you to an apprenticeship or a workplace, but only an M or a U level course can lead you to university, and only a C, M, or U level course can lead you to college. U and M level courses can lead you to all post-secondary pathways. So if you are in a U or an M level course, then all the doors are still open. Apprenticeship usually requires math and English at the grade 12 college level. And if you're applying to college, you'll be required to have at least a college level English and the college prereqs for your college program. And if you're going to university or completing a college degree program, you will need your best 6 grade 12 U or M courses. And one of these courses must be ENG for you. And you should be mindful that your program has the course requirements. Now, I am going to pass it on to Ms. Walker, who will review what you need to graduate high school.
Thanks, Ms. Mystery. Okay, I'm sure you've seen this kind of green color image many times, and you know that you need your 18 compulsory credits and then your 12 optionals. What I do want to remind you of and stress the importance is those groups, the group 1, 2, and 3. They're a little bit trickier, and you have to make sure that you've had each one of those as part of your count. So those are compulsory. If you're not sure you have them, you can come to guidance and we can check. Also, we did email you your Ontario student status. We emailed all the grade 12s that, so you can look there. All right. Next slide. Okay, so in addition to the 30 credits, you need your 40 hours of community service, the literacy test completion and successful, or else doing the OLC course, the literacy course, and then 2 e-learning courses, or you can opt out. And those are all forms that you need to fill out and send to guidance. If you've done that, I did read one and it was not recorded, then just come to the Zoom drop-in and then we will fix you up. Next slide. Okay, by the end of grade 12, this is what you need to graduate. You need your 4 English, you need 3 math, you need the literacy test successful or taken the course. You need all your compulsory credits, those groups 1, 2, and 3. And don't forget anything, as Ms. Mystery spoke about earlier, about your post-secondary pathway. So although you're trying to meet all of our numbers, your 18 and your 12, you also need to be looking at those requirements for the programs that you're interested in and see what they require and to make sure that you're on the right track. So don't forget. Now for next year, if you're staying with us in grade 12, make sure you choose 2 alternate credits that you can live with that are okay, just in case you don't get your first choices. Okay, and grade 12 students do need a minimum of 23 credits in order to take a spare. Next slide. Okay, so what do you have to take? Grade 12 is beautiful if you're on track because you really only have to take an English course and then everything else is your choice. Okay, so you need to take that U level, C level, or E level. So university, English, the college. Some people will take the essentials, which is straight into workplace. That ENG4E, if you are taking that, will not get you into college or university. So do know that. Okay. Next slide. If you are staying with us and you are choosing the asynchronous course that we have this year is the ENG 4U or 4C. So that is an e-learning course, which will qualify for e-learning. And that is independent learning, asynchronous. So you will have recorded lessons to look at. You will have teacher support, but it is mostly independent, if that is for you. Next slide. We just want to remind you about that grade 11 math that you need, and we put a little chart for the math pathways. You don't have to take a grade 12 math, but if you're interested in a post-secondary program, they may require that math. So always look at the requirements under the programs to see if they do need that math. And then you can see, and that's for college and university, which ones they may want. Okay, and do know that the MEL3E is a workplace math and will not get you into college or university for most programs. Okay, so do look at that, the math pathway. Okay, elective courses. So in grade 12, you have a lot of choice, but please do click on that link down there for the course descriptions and look at that, read them, make sure that you really know what the course is about, and check the prerequisites. All right. You need to make sure that you're eligible to take all those courses. Okay, and there's two slides of courses. You can see all of those that you need. All right, next slide. Specialized programs. So we do have a lot of specialized programs, but just know for these programs, there's lots of links here that you can research, but you must return to an in-person school for these programs. So there's the OYAP program, a couple of slides for there. You have the lines if you want to look at that. Next slide. There is the STEP programs that you can apply to. Again, very interesting. Next slide, please. Yeah, STEP programs. So if you're interested in construction or transportation, again, it's in person, so you can come and we can chat about it. But again, it's all in person. Next slide, we have PACE programs, which is apprenticeship, and you can see a lot of different options down there, bricklayer, electrician, interesting things. Again, you have to go back to in person. Next slide. I mentioned this earlier, you had your OSS sent to you, all grade 12 sent to you. If you're new with us in grade 12, we can send it to you. So you can ask us about that. So just a quick one on how to read this. The top two arrows will be your legal name and your OEN number. So Ontario Education Number, you will use this number, not your TDSB number, to apply for college or university. So you'll always need that number. Number one and number two over on the right-hand side, very, very important. It will tell you when you have completed your community hours and your literacy test. So you can see this student has no community hours, but they were successful in the literacy test. Okay. For 3, 4, and 5. So if we look at this student, if you look down at the bottom of the sheet, and 3 and 5, you can see that this student has 16 credits and they have planned for 24. So under the previous credits, and then you have your potential. So they planned for 24. If you look just above that, where the red number 6, there's their 8 courses that they have planned for this year, which will give them 24. Now, it's kind of important that you look under the previous and all the list that is on the left-hand side above that 16, and you can see in there, if you look at the English grade 9, they have a credit, grade 10, they have a credit, grade 11, they haven't, but if you look up top, they've planned for it, so they are taking that grade 11. If you look down in those groups that I talked about before, if you look at number 16, they need a group 16 and they need a group 17. So again, if you look up top in their courses they're taking this year, you'll see that number 17, they have planned for it with that biology. You can see that SBI for you, so they planned for that 17, so they're going to get that group knocked off of their list, okay? If this student were going to university, they would need 6 grade 12 U or M courses. So if you look in the middle section of all their courses they have and look at all their courses, there's no university courses there that they have taken, but if you look in their planned courses, you see how many they have planned if they were going to university. So you're looking for the U or the M. I count 4. So they will be taking 4 university courses. So they'll have to remember when they're choosing their courses for next year, they need to take at least 2 more U or M. So then they qualify for university. So it's all there. You just have to look at it. It's got lots of information for you. Okay. And I think that's it. And I'll pass it on to Mr. Thomas for my blueprint.
Okay, thank you. So another place that you can check out all that information, it's probably in a better format for you to look at it or easier to read, is your My Blueprint. So think at this point, everyone's familiar with My Blueprint. It's where you've done course selection for years. So you should really be looking at this on a regular basis, especially if you're in a graduating position now going into next year. It's the best tool that you have to track your progress and track the courses that you've completed and what you have planned. It's not the official system that we use to track. We have our own that Miss Walker was just showing you. That's those status sheets we use in our system. But this is a tool for you guys to track your progress and just to see how you're doing. So you should probably have been using it, but if you don't use it on a regular basis, you should really at this point in grade 12 get used to accessing this site and all the features that it has to offer. So if you're ready to pick courses for next year, to let us know where you're going, head over to myblueprint.ca and you're going to log in. And then most of you should have access as an existing user. So you'd go over and you'd log in with your TDSB credentials. If you're new to the school or new to the school board, you would go to school account login there. You'll see that little green button, and then you'd select TDSB, and then it'll take you to an area where you can use your TDSB login credentials to get set up, and you'll be connected directly with our school and all of your records that we would have entered on file for you. And this is the login page. And again, it's your username, which is your same TDSB username and password. Okay. So once you're logged in, so some features that we've talked about before, and if you've been with us at VSS for a few years, you know you've gone through this already. I think we've highlighted this before. Some of the things that you can access and resources that are in My Blueprint on that dashboard. One of them is Who Am I? So that's a series of surveys. Those will be skill surveys, interest surveys, and they're important to do because we get a lot of questions about pathways and career options. Those types of surveys help you understand the type of learner you are and the environment that you work best in. So I'd encourage you to use that. So go to Who Am I and complete all those surveys. They're also integrated into the My Blueprint system, and they can give you recommendations based on the information that you feed it. Post-secondary planning, so you can do this directly on My Blueprint, and we've talked about this already with all the graduating students, but just a reminder that you can access research tools for post-secondary. So some of you maybe have already applied and heard back, but some of you that didn't apply this year or are planning to apply in the future, make sure you use the post-secondary resource here. One of the benefits of My Blueprint over any other site is that it knows the courses that you've taken and that you're scheduled to take, so it can narrow down post-secondary options based on what your record shows. So it won't show you, for example, a program that requires advanced functions if you don't have that earned or planned in the future yet. So that's the benefit of using My Blueprint, and also the layout and the interface is really easy to read, and everything you find on any other site, like through OUAC or Ontario universities, you'll find here on My Blueprint. So use that tool. For those of you that aren't going to, say, college, university, or looking to find ways to write resumes and cover letters, there's also a work button there, and on that it'll help you write your resume and cover letter for job applications. And also, if you're looking for a job, there's direct links to job search engines right through My Blueprint. So like I said, it's not just for course selection, and hopefully most of you are aware of this, but if you're not, take some time to really explore the site and all the useful features that are included on it. Okay. When you're ready to let us know to select courses or let us know what you're doing next year, you go on the dashboard, there's a button that says high school. So you click on that and it'll take you to a chart, which you should all be familiar with a bunch of columns, and every column is a grade. And if you're a current grade 12 student and you're planning to graduate or leave us, at the top of that page, there'll be an indication to say, it'll say leaving next year, and then you select the appropriate destination. If you're coming back for another year, so there's a little blue arrow beside the grade 12 next year column, you'd select that and another year pops up, and then you can start selecting courses for your 5th year. If you're a student who's graduating this year and you have earned 34 credits by the end of this year, then you should have a conversation with us in guidance, because technically at 34 credits, you wouldn't be coming back for a 5th year. But if you still need high school credits, or if you're looking to upgrade, there's other options. That's a conversation you'd have to have with us in guidance. Oh, just a reminder here for if you can't remember or you don't know where to look to track your progress, on the top right side, there's a button that says View Progress. So when you click on that, it'll give you all the information about your planned, earned, and total credits. And that's a good way for you to track where you stand with your graduation progress. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. So here you'll see at the top, it says the required credits, how many credits are earned. And if you scroll down through the page, it lists all the compulsories, the electives, both planned and earned, including what you're taking this semester. And then at the bottom, you'll see also it includes like volunteer hours and your OSSLT status. So whether that's through the OLC course or you've passed the test, it should indicate there. This is what you really should be accessing a lot now that you're in grade 12. If you're leaving, making sure that you have enough credits for graduation, making sure you have enough of, you've reached all the compulsory credit requirements. And if you see something that's off, then that would mean come to our guidance drop-in, our Zoom sessions to talk to us about ways that you can catch up on a credit. So maybe you'll only have 29 credits. You need to take a night school course or something like that if you plan to graduate this year. Okay. This is just a reminder then if you're not returning, and Miss Mystery has gone over this already, but just indicate to us where you're going. It's an important step, and we don't want to have to track you down. So even though you may be accepted to college or university, or you're graduating and going to an apprenticeship, let us know. It's very important that we finalize this process, and then we'll follow up to make sure. And if anything changes, also let us know so we can correct your next year's plan. And then in June, complete the exit survey with your personal email, and make sure on that exit survey you don't use your TDSB email because it gets deactivated once you graduate after a certain amount of months. Okay, back to the chart. So just go a quick review for how to add courses. So most of you should know this already. In the column would be under the next year. So if you're creating a fifth year, you'll see a bunch of boxes as a course with a little plus sign beside them. So once you click on those courses, you'll get taken to a page that has the categories for all the different courses you want to select. Just a reminder again, what Miss Mystery said is if you take a course again, it doesn't count as another credit. So if you've passed grade 12 English, for example, and you take it again next year, you're not going to get a second credit for grade 12 English, but you can use it as an upgrade if you're wanting to upgrade your marks. But just keep in mind, you're not going to get extra credits for courses that you've completed already. So just be mindful of the courses you've taken and look back and make sure that you're not duplicating. And my blueprint will actually turn red if there is a duplicate, so it's easy for you to recognize that. But just keep in mind that that's not a new credit if you've already earned it before. Also alternates, so you should be selecting the courses you need if you're coming back for another year. Also choose alternates in case we can't get you into some of those electives. Sometimes courses get closed. Sometimes courses only run in one section, so there's a conflict with your other classes. So make sure that you give us alternates to choose. So in case we can't get you into one, we know exactly what to put you in. And a reminder here is don't pick alternates that you don't want to be in. So it's important to think about the alternates like you think about your other courses, so that if you get stuck in them or put in them, rather, you're happy with that backup plan. Okay, so once you're ready to submit your course selection or to submit your not returning status indicator, you go to review course selection at the top. So the process hasn't changed here. Then you'll get taken to a screen that looks like this, and then on this screen there's some error, there may be error indicators. So if anything's red here, just pay attention to what the problem is. So maybe it's a duplicate course, maybe you've earned that credit already. You can submit your course selection even though boxes are red, but try to resolve those problems in advance. So in case we miss it, or we don't have to track you down and try to ask questions. Make sure it's not an error that you're submitting. So if sometimes there's a reason to duplicate a course. So if you want to take a course again, but just make sure you're doing it intentionally and it's not just an accident. So take your time with this. It's not a race. So if you are selecting courses, just be very careful and intentional with what you're selecting. And then there's a comment bank there's a comment section for adding any instructions or comments that you want us to know. So if you're taking a course at night school or summer school, or you can indicate here as well if you're taking a duplicate course and why. Any information you provide to us would be helpful if we have any questions or concerns. Towards the bottom of the page there, you would submit your course selection with that green box. And then if you are under the age of 18, you would send an approval email here, and that would have to be sent to a parent or guardian. So if you're under 18, you'd put your parent or guardian's approval email. If you're over 18, I believe you just put your own email, and then that will finalize the process. So what happens is when you put a parent or guardian email in here, or your own personal email if you're 18, you get an email that looks like this. And then there's an option to approve the course selection or reject the course selection. So obviously, and I hope that if you're sending it to yourself, if you're 18, it's just a simple approve and you won't reject. But if you're sending it to your parents or guardians, you make sure you have a conversation with them about the courses you selected in advance, and then let them know that you've sent that email to them so that they can approve and finalize the application process for those courses. Okay. And once all that's done and a parent or guardian or you as an 18-year-old have signed off on it, you'll see on your My Blueprint, it says your courses have been submitted. And then from there, we leave it with us, and then we'll follow up with any questions or concerns we have about your application. And then the last thing here is, this is something we used to use. My Blueprint will still send you this. It's a sign-off sheet, so we do not need you to send this to us or to have this signed. This is just for your personal records. The only thing that we need to have approved is that email that gets sent to you or your parents. Okay, and I think I'm passing it off to Ms. Rasalingham at this point.
So just to kind of summarize what's been said and to recap, when you submit your blueprint, please choose 8 courses and 2 alternatives. This way we could try to make sure that you get courses that you want and need in case things don't fit in nicely together. If you want a spare and you are in a position to take spares, just add it in your notes section, and we'll look after that. And when you're choosing your courses, it's really important to be mindful of your pathway after high school. So here we have listed the 3 pathways. There are a couple of others, but if you're considering the university pathway, please make sure that you have a total of 6 or more grade 12 courses at the 4M or U level. One of it has to be English, and the rest of it would comprise of the prerequisite courses required for your program, which I'll talk about in a second. And if there's only like one prerequisite course, then the remaining 4 would be your choice. Also keep in mind that a lot of grade 12 courses have prerequisites at the grade 11 level, so you need to make sure you take it. So for example, if you want to take grade 12 biology, you will need to have taken grade 11 biology. So this is all part of the planning process. If you're planning to pursue the college pathway, you can first of all, visit the website to see what the prerequisite courses are, and also make sure you have taken grade 12 college English. If you're planning to enter the workforce or apprenticeship, you have the option of taking grade 12 college English or university level English, or even the OLC 401. Next slide. So things to consider is to research the courses required for your pathway. Have a couple of plans because things don't always work out as you plan. So just have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Be realistic. Pay attention to your skills and interests. You might have to take summer school, night school, or an extra year. If you're planning to go into apprenticeship, you need to find an employer willing to train you, and also have to go through the registration process with the local apprenticeship office. Keep in mind these important dates for next year. University applications are usually due around mid-January, so this would be mid-January 2026. College applications are due February 1st, 2026. And also, you can always attend college and university open houses now. You don't have to wait till the fall. There are a couple going on now. Some are actually virtual, some are in person. And so it's a great way to kind of get an idea of what the atmosphere is like, what kind of courses they offer, the programs they offer. So we highly encourage, if possible, to go check these out. So A lot of you were asking, what kind of courses should I be taking in the Q&A. The best place to look would be the actual Ontario College's website if you're planning to go to college, or the Ontario University website if you're planning to go to university. And we also have the apprenticeship website. These websites will tell you many things, like what's the minimum uh, grade that they were working with last year, what are the prerequisite courses. So this will help you plan out the courses that you will still need to take. So we have linked these links in here. So when you review the slides, please click on the links to the appropriate pathway. If you need help navigating through these sites, it can be overwhelming at first. Feel free to join the Zoom lunchtime meetings with guidance, and we can help you walk you through an example. And if you need more information about the courses that you require for your pathway, a great place would be to check out Blueprint, as already mentioned. You could also check out the Choices Secondary Program Guide. As I mentioned, you could check out the college, the university, the apprenticeship links that's included. You can also look at the trades website we've included here, or the OYAP link as well. Also, you can always check in with your guidance counselor and teachers if you need assistance in seeing if it's the appropriate course.
So this is our final slide. Here are next steps to our course selection journey. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. to 9:50, please check the course selection fair. Check out the course selection fair that will be happening. There is going to be an announcement after school today that will share a worksheet that will help you record the courses that you might be interested in, and has some resources there to guide you through the fair. And we will also be posting up a course promotion schedule that provides all the links to all the different departments. Students can visit various departments to learn more about the courses, or ask their teachers specific questions about what the courses are about, how it's set up, and what types of evaluations you might be experiencing. My blueprint is currently open, and you can select courses for next year up until February 28th. If you need any additional support, you can reach out to guidance at lunch or after school on Wednesdays for the month of February from 3:15 to 4:15. Guardians are also welcome at this session. If you plan on taking summer school, private school, or spare, please, as Mr. Thomas mentioned, use the notes section to communicate that information to us. This is also a gentle reminder that students should pick 2 alternative courses just in case we cannot accommodate your original request. Please make sure you share your course selection with your guardians if you're under 18, as you will need their approval. And please make sure you complete your final submission by the 28th. If you are completing your final credits in summer school or private school after June, it is important for you to reach back to guidance to let us know, and to let us know that you need a transcript and a diploma issued to you. This work will most likely be done when we return in August, but if you email us and let us know your plan, we can at least put you onto a list, and then we'll know to follow up, or we'll be expecting you, or we know what is happening with your situation. Thank you for your attention, and we look forward to supporting you with your course selection for 2025.